Cars are interesting in a way that almost nothing else is. Bring one up in the right room, mention the right make, the right model, the right engine note, and watch something happen to people. Their eyes shift, their posture opens, and suddenly a stranger is helping you finish your sentences. That doesn't happen with a lot of things, but it does happen with cars. Every story needs a subject, right? Something to anchor it. And sometimes, even more often than people give credit for, that subject is a machine. 4 wheels, a frame, and a soul someone poured into. I think memories are most powerful when they carry markers other people recognize, when the image is common enough that it lives in someone else's mind too. And that's the trick of nostalgia. It's personal and shared. So let me ask you something. Do you remember your first car? I know I do. She was cherry red, a sleek and sexy Infiniti M30. Yeah, I've always personified my cars as powerful feminine things. Maybe it's the curves. Maybe it's the way a well-designed body moves through space. But maybe it's just the art of it. I won't get too deep into that, but I will say she was beautiful. A perfect, clean leather beige interior with a modern radio that included buttons by the steering wheel. That was a brand new feature in the year that it came out, which was the same year I was born, but I also won't tell you what year that was. But that's what sticks with me, these stories, ridiculous ones and painful ones. Stories that come out with your friends at 1 a.m. when everyone is finally comfortable enough to be honest. And that's what I've been chasing with this show. And I was on a roll, producing story after story, stories that were relayed to me in parking lots, at car meets, over espressos, and on the side of mountain roads. Real conversations that went somewhere. And I have coverage that spans weeks and months. It's all there. But if you ask me what happened, I'll tell you life got in the way. I started a couple new projects, have been moving in different spaces, so really it's just been me getting in my own way. Part 2 of the Inner Mechanica story, my ongoing conversation with Waljir, the shop owner, a man who's dedicated his life to a philosophy of engineering so radical it borders on madness. That episode has been written and recorded. It's ready to go. It just deserves the full weight of its own moment, and I'm not going to rush into existence something just to fill a feed. So that is coming, I promise. But today I want to get into something a little more different. I want to get a little uncomfortable with you. Here's where I need you to sit with me for a second. Right here, come on in. Everybody has heard of Carroll Shelby, right? Carroll Shelby was a Texan boy who became a chicken farmer before he ever touched a race car. No, that's not a joke. The man who would eventually reshape American automotive culture spent his early years trying to make a living raising chickens. And that didn't work out. So he raced instead. In 1956 and 1957, Sports Illustrated named him Sports Car Driver of the Year. He was fearless, talented, and hungry. And then in June of 1959, he and Ray Salvadori co-drove an Aston Martin DBR1 to win the 24 Hours of Le Mans, one of the most grueling races on earth. He was at the absolute peak of the sport. See, the chest pain had returned. His doctors diagnosed it as a hereditary defect. His father had died young from a heart attack, and so Carroll Shelby ran his final race in October 1960 with the tab of nitroglycerin dissolving under his tongue. No, not metaphorically, but literally medicating himself between laps so his heart wouldn't give out behind the wheel. Just think about that. The man had crossed the finish line and then had to walk away from the only thing he'd ever truly loved doing, forced out, while he was at the top, with a body that wouldn't cooperate anymore. Most people don't come back from something like that. Most people fold. But what did Carroll Shelby do? Carroll Shelby got on a plane to England And in September 1961, when AC Cars of Thames Ditton lost the source of their 6-cylinder engine, Shelby airmailed them a letter with a proposal. He'd seen the AC Ace chassis, lightweight, elegant, built for European performance, and he knew Ford had just developed a new small block V8 that nobody had figured out what to do with yet. So he told Lee Iacocca at Ford, "I have a chassis. If I could get these engines, I think I could build a car that would blow off the Corvette. I need to borrow $25,000 to build 2 cars." Iacocca agreed, and that was it. That was the whole pitch. Unveiled as the CSX 2000 at the 1962 New York Auto Show was the Shelby Cobra, a British body with an American heart, and the vision of a man who had been told his best days were behind him. The first Cobra packed Ford's 260 cubic inch V8 into a chassis originally designed to handle about 150 horsepower. And he made it work at 260. The Mark II followed with a 289 cubic inch V8 producing 271 horsepower. And then came the one people still lose their minds over, the Mark III Shelby 427, with 510 horsepower big block Ford crammed into a 5-inch wider frame, coil springs replacing the original Leaf setup, and a front grille enlarged just to feed that engine enough air to breathe. Fewer than 1,000 Cobras were ever built, and that was by design. Yet the cultural footprint of that car is immeasurable. In 1964, the Daytona Coupe, born from the Cobra program, won its GT class at Le Mans and helped Shelby secure the FIA. World Sports Car Championship, an American car, built by a man with a broken heart, beating Ferrari on Ferrari's own home turf. The first prototype, the very first Cobra ever built, sold at auction in 2016 for $13.75 million. The chicken farmer's car, the one built out of desperation and reinvention by way of a letter that was airmailed to England. That's the part of the story people don't talk about. They remember the car, but they don't always remember what it cost him to get there, or what it required him to let go of before he could even build it. And that's where my thought goes, because the thing about life's biggest accomplishments, they almost never happen despite the fear and uncertainty. They happen because of it. The pressure creates the diamond. The loss creates the space for something new to grow into. Shelby didn't get the Cobra because he was winning races. He got it because he couldn't race anymore. The door that closed was the one that forced him to look at the wall and find a door nobody else had put there. And I think about that when life gets loud. When the thing I planned doesn't work out. When the timing is wrong, or the body says no, or the circumstances says not yet. Because Shelby's best chapter wasn't the one he wrote from the driver's seat, but the one he wrote when someone took the seat away. And maybe that's true for all of us. The thing you're being redirected toward is probably more important than the thing you're being redirected from. Have you ever thought about that? So the question is whether you're willing to mail the letter anyway. I'm in that place right now with this show. I started Throttle Culture with a clear identity, a sound, a color, a feeling. And somewhere along the way, I think it grew past the name, but it never quite reached the mission. See, the stories I want to tell have gotten bigger, more cinematic, more human, less about horsepower and more about what drives us in every sense of the phrase. So I'm putting it to you, the community, the listeners who have been here from the early episodes, and even the ones who found us somewhere in the middle. I need your help renaming this show. It isn't because I'm looking to give up on what it was, because I think what it's becoming deserves a name that can carry it. So drop your ideas wherever you found this episode. Comments, DMs, replies, heck, send me an email. Tell me what this show sounds like to you, what it feels like. And if you've got a name that captures the thing I keep reaching for, the connection between machine and memory, of momentum and meaning, I want to hear it. Because the next chapter is already being written. I just haven't decided what to call it yet. As always, thanks for listening. This is Jay, and I'll catch you at the finish line.